Hey, good morning, Salawan family. Today again, I'm gonna start with a little song. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little hope of mine, I'm gonna let it rise. Oh, this little hope of mine, I'm gonna let it rise. This little hope of mine, I'm gonna let it rise. Let it rise, let it rise, let it rise. One more time. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, good morning. And well, it's here morning in Africa, but good morning in Salawan. I hope you all had a good night's sleep and good night evening. When the sun fell and the beginning of the Sabbath. So I'm gonna say Salawan and happy Sabbath. Or Yawab Sabbath, which mean Yawab mean happy, and of course you know what Sabbath means. So with that, I'm just going to talk to you today about a subject that I think is pressing people's minds right now is what the hell is going on in the world today. I know. What the hell is going on in the world today? And how can we prepare for what we see is simple prophecy. So first I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna read uh Psalms 136 and 12, and I'm gonna read it first, then I'm gonna explain to you why I read this. It says Psalms 136 and 12. It said, with a strong hand and with a stretched out arm, for his mercy endured forever. That's what you're gonna have to remember that. Psalms 136 and 12. With a strong hand and with a stretched out arm, for his mercy endureth forever. And this is fact, you know. Uh, but I'm gonna go in more in depth in that. But I'm gonna read a couple more verses to give you insurance. Uh, Isaiah 59 and 1. Behold, Auto Autowan hand is not shortened, that cannot it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear. I'm going to repeat that again. Behold, Yahweh's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, neither its ear heavy, that it cannot hear. You know, in the first verse, it's talking about Psalms 136 and 12 is talking about with a strong hand and with his stretched out arm, his mercy endure forever. Give you a sincere that that he will be there, but his arms are stretched out, and I'm gonna go into that a little more because I think people misunderstand that and they become docile and they think and they don't want to do anything and they think the Lord is just going to do everything for them, and that's not true. Uh, he requires work from us. In Isaiah, it talks of behold, the Lord hand is not shortened, meaning don't when you look at the world, don't think men have the power. The Most High is always in control. He is always in control. He allowed them to go as far as He wants them to go. A lot of it has to do with testing us as true believers. You know, just like with Job, the story of Job. He gave him his range, his limit. He does that with the devil. He gives him his range and his limit. Now, don't get me wrong. The devil going to take as much as the Father allow him to take until his destruction. I mean, wouldn't you, if you were in his case? Now, in Deuteronomy 26 and 8, it says, "And Yahweh brought us forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand, and with an outreach arm, and with great terribleness, and with signs, and with wonders." Now, that's one of the things I'm going to talk about quickly. I'm going to talk about that quickly right now because this class is not about uh, today. It's not about I didn't. It's not about today. Uh, People moving and going from here to here. Now, I believe that you need to leave Babylon. Don't get me wrong. Uh, I believe that that's what he mean by an outreach arm. He's saying he's reaching out to you. Well, how is he reaching out to you? He allowing the doors to open to you because he control all things on the earth. So when he speaks of an outreach arm or outstretched arm, he's giving you the strength and the power to leave. He's not only that, he's giving you the means and the ways. But you will have to reach it. When the outstretched arm, if I stretch my arm out to you, and you have to stretch your arms out to reach. It goes both ways. That means when the Father stretches strength out, he stretches power out, he stretches all the things that inevitably that he has, which is everything, and he stretches it out to you. He requires you to acquire movement. Movement is simply obedience. Now, and I talked about that in the class before about being obedient to the Most High. Uh, he requires that for your brasses, for your barak. He requires obedience. So when he talks about an outstretched arm, he's talking about he's opening the doors. He will forgive you the strength if you do it. He's gonna if you reach out, you grab his arm, he's gonna keep pulling, but you have to pull too. And that's one of the things that I truly believe that uh, the Most High, you take one step, he take two, but he requires you to take that first step in faith, in belief. And that's a whole nother class, and I'm not going to give that class anymore. I told myself I didn't beat that horse to death to try to explain to people that obedience to the Most High require you to flee. I mean, even in that verse, Deuteronomy 26 and 8, it's basically telling you that. And Yahweh brought forth out of Egypt. They walked out of Egypt. They got out of Egypt. They walked in faith in Egypt, but they did the work. Ain't no spaceship came and picked them up. Sorry. I mean, even when scripture talks about the chariots coming, that's after the 1,000 years. It's not before. Before it talks about Messiah coming back out of the sky with the 144. That's gonna destroy the earth. He's gonna collect his remnant. Then we're gonna live 1,000 years. But after the 1,000 years, he talks about the chariots coming. That's when the chariots are coming. But that's after Christ's return. So in the meantime, we have to be obedient. We have to be obedient. We have to do what he say. We have to flee. But he will stretch out. He will have outstretched arms. And like one of the classes I gave a while back about the world recognizing who you are, awakening to who you are. The doors are open, and those are outstretched arms. You are being welcomed back to your homeland, which is Africa, the right of abroad, Kenya giving you no visas anymore. I mean, what more can the outreach be? That you, it's going to get better because the Most High is going to make it even better for you to be outreach, to come back home. But you can say to yourself all day, I didn't hear it, and I don't hear this call, and that's living in your comfort zone. And as long as you don't want to hear it, you won't hear it. That's just the fact. But I'm not going to beat up on that. But so for all those who choose to stay in Babylon and who choose to stay, this class is to help you. And I pray Although I feel it's through disobedience that you stay, that he continues to bless you and keep you. Because we do understand all those who were punished during disobedience are those who stayed back after 70 AE that was told to flee. I'm pretty sure that those who stayed back in Egypt, I'm pretty sure all the Israelites didn't leave. They were also probably put through hell. So there are always going to be some that's going to stay back or going to stay in their comfort zone if they can. There are let's be realistic. There are some that love Master so much that they can't see living without Master. Uh, they just can't. It's beyond their imagination of living without Master. They don't believe their own people can provide the things that they need, they want, or they can have, or worth having amongst their own people, because they so used to living under their oppressor that who gave them every crumb and gave them a little more sometimes, some a little more and some a little less. But those who had a little more, the the belief of them getting around their own people and doing this and getting this is beyond their imagination. They're happy with their oppressor and what the oppressor gives them. But this is not what this class about. This is class about what's going on, what the hell is going on in this world today. I'm gonna stay focused today. Now, I'm gonna read one more verse. Isaiah 41:10. Fear there not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy Elohim. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. So he's gonna hold you together. He's gonna do all that. But and we read all these verses in the Bible when it tells us how the Most High is always gonna take care of us, and he's gonna do this and he's gonna do that. But what we gotta understand, all scriptures begin with obedience. You have to be obedient. You have to do his law, statutes, commandments. You have to do as you told. Just like a father, he will reward his son or daughter as much as he can, but not when the child is being disobedient. That's when the not when the child is not following his orders. It's not that he don't want to reward you and he can't reward you, but through your disobedience, he chooses not to reward you. So we got to understand that, and we just got to simply accept that we have to be obedient. But that's not what this class is about. So so the first thing I want to do is one of the things I want to do before we start this class is I want to talk about a word which is Zer-o. Zer-o, and Zer-o is the word for outreach. Now I always try to give you a word because I gave you the word outreach, so now I got to give you the definition. In the Strong's Dictionary H2220, outreach means arm, it means power, it means shoulder, it means hold it means mighty, it means strength. So when an outreach arm, he's giving you his strength. He's pouring his power. He's changing minds. He's getting people, countries to do what they don't want to do. He's putting in their hearts to do it. It's mercy and power is going amongst the world. You can have that power. You can have that strength. He outreaching to you to give it to you. It's yours to take, but you have to reach out too. You have to step out on faith. Now, what's going on in the world? Let's go with that. Now we know. We know Matthew's 24, 6 through 14. Matthew's 24, 6 through 14 speaks of what's going on right now. And it tells you, I'm going to read Matthew 6, 24, 6 through 14. And it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of war. See that they not trouble. For all these things must come to pass, but to the end it's not yet. That means it ain't the end yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine, and pestilence, and earthquakes, in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to the afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated all the nations for their name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall arise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness until all nations, and then shall the end come. Now we know two things that have to happen before the most Yahweh Shai come down to do his recompense on this earth. We know the gospel has to be teached throughout the nations. We know there will be great famines and pestilence, and all these things are happening now, but they are happening throughout time. But we're going to see an increase. You know, we know the attacks that's going to come on the Israelites, and that's not what's going on right now with the Israelis. That's not. It's what it's referring to, the J-ish people. I'm gonna say J-ish, uh, because we know in 1948 that wasn't Yahweh Shai who led them back into Jerusalem. So we know that's not to be the case, because he was going to lead them back. And also, we know that was a man's doing. Um, uh, but I'm not going into that. This is not what that's about. Now, in reference to the J-ish and Palestine, that's not our battle. We have to remember they both are occupiers. They both are occupiers. Don't get me wrong. There are some uh, true Israelites that are in Palestine that have never left, because we were once there before. We settled there. There are some there, and I pray for them, and I pray the Most High protect the true, the ones we know how to be true are protected. I pray that. But again, uh, but again, through obedience, we are taught that we must flee. Now, and I hope most fled when they could have fled. The ones that stayed back, I still pray for them, because if they understood scripture, they would know they will have to flee back unto their own land. Uh, the borders of Abraham. So they don't have to stay there necessarily. They can go, in their case, further west into Africa. They could have. That's before uh, the blockade. But again, that's the Most High. I'm not going to go into their situation. That's not our problem. But I will pray for my brothers and sisters that are over there, and in general, I will pray for all the people that they have peace. But I know the peace is not mine to give; it's the Most High's. And if the destruction is going on over there, Most High is allowing it to happen for His purpose and for His reasons. So And the last part, we got to understand they both are occupiers. They both, whether it was the Ottoman Empire or the Israeli conquering the Palestinians, they both are occupying um, nations of the true descendants who were destroyed or had left. Once like the Egyptian king back in 1948 said, I'm just going to tell you what he said. He basically said in 1948 when they returned, he said they left black, they came back white. So we got to understand that even the people in the area know who they are. So you can't. So it is kind of ironic that they say that the Palestinians are anti-Semitic when most of them are from Ishmael, and Ishmael is Semitic. But that's a whole nother story. So they can't be anti-Semitic. They are Semites themselves. You know, which is kind of ridiculous. If you know anything about history, you would know that most of the Arabians and the son comes from the line of Ishmael. Ishmael is Semitic. You know, so but a whole nother story. But what's going on in this world? What you got to understand is prophecy, and we have to start to prepare. This is what this class is also about. We can understand the wars and the economics and the dollar is going to eventually fail. Every economics major or any economic person in the world all tells you just about almost 98% of them said that the dollar is going to fail because the dollar is based on a note, and the note is not backed by gold. Now, America does have other commodities like other items like the war machine money and everything else that they create. That's why they constantly creating war because part of their GDP depends on creating a war. That's why they put so much money into weapons and stuff, so sales and stuff like that. But that's an understanding that goes deeper into how they maintain the value of their dollar. And this class is not about that. You know, they do have some gold, but gold is not the only commodity that they use. They use other commodities as well to determine the value of the dollar. But the dollar value is not where it needs to be. And then you have BRICS coming in, and BRICS are the other countries that are developing, not necessarily developing, but uh, lowering the dollar, and they lowering the dollar simply by um, trying to create a money that's based on gold because they know America is not based on gold anymore. So if you create it back to what it was when you put it back to the gold standard, and all these countries been buying gold in great abundance, including America. America is not stupid now. They know that they have to start purchasing more in gold so they can have more gold. So if when the money goes to digital and digital is going to be based on gold, they have a stronger standing. But again, it's not just gold, it's also commodities. Some countries use their natural resources with gold, or they use whatever they sell the oil with gold, but it's all a combination developed that's used to de- determine the value of your currency. But once they go to one world currency, then it's got to be based on a standard set of things. And that's going to be your natural resources, which is gold, silver, oil, and it's also going to be your commodities as well. It's gonna be things such as how big your war machine is and who purchased weapons from you and blah blah. It's all going to be a combination. Now, how they calculate that's going to be between the wicked devil and the world. Okay, but it's going to happen. But the dollar has to fail. You have to collapse one system, and you have to wipe it out to start anew to make it successful. especially when the system is corrupt, especially when the system is broken. To bring in a new, you're going to have to destroy the old. Just remember that. So how do you prepare for that? Okay, I'm an American. I'm living in America. I need money. I gotta have money. You know what do I do? How do I prepare? Now I can tell you if you own land and you in groups and y'all get together and y'all buy land and y'all purchase land and y'all try to get you a well and you grow your own crops and stuff like that, you can become self sufficient and that will work to an extent. But the problem is this: in America, you always have to pay taxes every year on your land. If you don't, they're gonna confiscate your land. They are. You're always going to have to pay certain things to the government to maintain your water, or they have a lot of laws where they can go on your land and impose different things in America. Now they create these laws on purpose, you know, so they can do that. Now people say, well, I have my own water, I have my own food, I have all that, I'm good. Not necessarily. You don't own the land, and 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 they say, well, I just keep. Well, what happens? What happens when they tell you? What happens when they tell you the order of this land you have to pay, and then you have to pay with the one world currency? But the only way you can get the one world currency is to get the mark of the beast. Now there's a conflict between you owning your land and you deciding whether to get a mark of the beast to pay for your land. They can even say, "Yeah, we'll give you the funds to pay, but you need to get a mark of a beast. You need to get a chip in your hand." You need to get the chip or you need to get something so we can scan you so you can pay your debts. You also need to pay your debts for foods in the markets and stuff like that. You need to pay your debts for this. Now, it's a lot of things that they're gonna force on you. I mean, simply to just go outside to, to use the normal systems in society. Uh, you have to scan in. It's a recognition and this and that and this and that. So it's gonna be impossible to escape the mark, almost. And you say, well, I have the Most High, and the Most High will make a way. Well, your way is to get the hell out of there. If I know four walls are closing in on me, and the door is open, and they're closing in and closing in and closing in, but four walls, but there's cracks in between the doors. I can get out of there. I can get out of this room, but the four walls are closing in on me. And I keep saying the Most High is going to protect me. The Most High is going to protect me. He was protecting you when he created those assets out of the room. And he's telling you, get the hell out of the room. So when a room closes in on me and I'm stuck and all four walls are around me and I'm stuck in there and I'm crying, oh Lord, oh Father, oh Father, oh Father, help me. He's looking down saying, son, I left the cracks open so you can leave. Now, could he get you out even then? He can do what he wants. The Most High can do what he wants. He can break all the walls down. He can do whatever the hell he wants. But that's not obedience. Again, we talked about that earlier. I'm pretty sure, like I say this all the time, in Jerusalem in 70 AD, they thought the same thing. They were true believers, but did not choose to flee when he told them under the obedience. 1.5 million did, they fled to Africa. But the rest stayed and ended up being killed in camps, in fighting arenas, and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't bad people. They just chose to stay in their comfort. They had homes there, they had lives there, they had everything there. And even though he told them, when you see the armies come to suppress the gates, he said, flee. And they stayed. That was their choice. But the gates were open for a while. Now, if you're going to stay and you choose to say, okay, I hear you, brother, but I'm staying. I haven't heard it. I'm waiting for my burning bush to tell me to leave. I'm waiting for my I don't know. I'm waiting for the sky to turn purple and a messenger come down personally and knock on my door and tell me to leave. That's your choice. I hear you, but I'm still waiting. He did that for you, not for me. No, it's not a you or me. It's for everybody. It's all about just stepping out on faith. Uh, uh, but anyway, with that, what you need to do if you're gonna stay, you're gonna have to unify. You're gonna have to get a group together. Y'all gonna have to work together. Y'all gonna the detour from getting the mark of the beast. You're gonna have to do what I call go back into the old days where you learn herbs and you're gonna have to do trade. Trade is gonna be important. Um, uh, uh, Trade is going to be very important amongst our people. You know, you're going to have to learn how to create that system again that was done during the time of Mashiach. You know, when people didn't have a lot of money, but they did have products to trade. So that means you're going to have to gather products. You know, and these are some of the things I actually put in my detail block in my page of things that you need to work on. You know, like dry foods. You need to collect dry foods, uh, and you should store them. You know, like rice and beans and dry fruits and etc. Beef jerky, uh, things like that. You can learn how to make your own beef jerky and things. You, you can dry your own sweets if you create a garden, your own beans and your own rice. Well, dry it, package it, keep it dry, store it away. You know, one of the other things you're going to need is water. Water is going to be very important. I mean, some people get their water through the lines, or they get their water from a well. A well would be great if you have the land, but most people live in the city. So what you do when you're in the city? You know, you're like, well, what do I do? I'm gonna tell you what I did when I was in the city. When I was in the city, I had 6 to 7 barrels that were sealed, and I filled them up with water. They were 30-gallon barrels. I put them in my garage, and I filled them up with clean water, and I put a teaspoon of bleach in them. Every 6 months, I would change it out. So I had at least almost 300, close to 300 gallons of water in my house at any time. So if the water cut off or the water got uh contaminated, then I had water for a while. Then I also, one of the things I did was I had a lot of survival food. You know, the ones you can buy online that's for 25 years. You know, if you don't want to store, you can buy those. Just like in America, it does give you some really good conveniences if you want them. You know, you can actually go online on Amazon today and probably in America and buy it to be there in about a week. And these are survival foods now, for 25 years, and you can buy you enough for at least a year's time. Now if you don't have the money, people say, well, I don't have the money for all this. You buy a little at a time. That's what I did when I was in the States. I bought a little at a time. Now when I left, I gave most of it away. All praises to the Most High. I helped people. I gave them my survival food because I didn't take it with me, and I gave them my barrels. I gave them all the stuff that I was using for survival. So I mean, and then after that, you know, one of the things you also need, you need medications and first aid kits. You know, pain pills. You know, headache pills, and if you have certain health problems, you need to store away stuff like that you need. I don't know. So when you talk about medications, you can talk about all types of things, but it's going to be on the individual. But there are some basic things that you need. You know, like I said, simple pain medicine, over the counter pain medicine, Tylenol, you know, cough syrups, and women need special aids for cramping, things like that. You store away that you know it's going to be difficult to get once the world go into chaos. You know this. And the world's going to go into chaos because the scriptures in Matthew tell you it's going to be nation against nation, war against, so it's going to be problems. There's going to be real bad problems. There's going to be chaos. So since we know chaos, we got to prepare for chaos. You also got to educate yourself on. You educate yourself on herbs and medicines that are around you that you can use if it comes down to it. Scout your area, find places where you can find certain herbs and stuff. If you stay out in the wilderness or the forest area, search your area and find the plants that gives you life, and they out there that does matter, that can dull pain, and the plant life that can help your digestive system and stuff like that. And if you have the land, grow it on your land. Take it out and find it and grow it all around you. And so uh, over counter drugs and stuff don't work. You use what Yah gave us, which is the natural plants. Because all medicines come from plants. If you think about it, it's just someone taking a plant and amplifying it and putting it in a pill. So we got to understand, man. You also got to get a knowledge on 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 how to survive in the wilderness or in the woods, or how to build a shelter out in the woods. Now people say, "Well, I don't know him." Man, this is YouTube age. Anything you want to learn, you can go on YouTube and learn. They also have survival books that you can purchase. Yeah, I got one. If you really want, I think I got it online. If you write me back saying you want, I think I could send it to you. I don't care. If it will help you, good for you. I really do. It's a survival book. And then one of the other things, you gotta get protection. You gotta protect your family. I don't care what you have. You should have some weapons or something on you. You should, because I'll give you a story. I had a neighbor once in the States, and he was a Hispanic guy. And he told me once, he said, I don't believe in guns. He said, I don't believe in this. I don't believe in guns. I don't, I know. And I said, so, well, if someone breaks in your house, what do you have to protect yourself? They had a big, nice home. He said, I have a bow and arrow. That's what he told me. And I said, well, a bow and arrow can help you protect yourself. I said, the person that breaks in your house, he do believe in guns. The person that breaks in your house, they do believe in bullets. I said, now you got a AK or a 9 mil or a 40 cal weapon against a bow and arrow. I said, you're doing your family a disservice. I'm gonna repeat, you're doing your family and the protection of your family a disservice when you say, I don't believe in guns, so I'm leaving my family unprotected when I know all the rest of them out there do believe in guns. Now you can live in a reality that if they attack your house, they're gonna go get their bow and arrow and make it fair. No, about attacking is about having a superior firearm and a superior weapon systems. That's why America and Russia and China are superior, and they will use it. Just like the average human being will use their superiority in those particular areas, having bigger weapons. So you got to live in a reality. Now, I'm an old soldier. I believe in protecting your home. If I can, if hey, if I was rich and I could purchase me a freaking tank, I have a tank in my yard. Yes, I would, and I would know how to use it, and it will be fully armed. That don't mean I want to hurt people. That means I believe in protecting my family. That's all. And I will do what it takes, and I will learn what I have to learn to do it. Now you can have any type of weapon, and you can learn how to use it safely. You can teach your kids how to use it safely. Yes, I believe in teaching your sons and daughters how to protect themselves, whether it's a knife, whether it's a gun, whether it's a stick, whether it's a pole, whether it's a brick. I think they should learn them all. You know, and people say, how young is too young to start teaching your child how to fire when they can hold it up and shoot? I just said what I just said. So what we understand, what people got to understand is that the world is given unto the hand of the wicked, and the wicked don't care. Now you could care, but the wicked don't care. You can have compassion, but the wicked don't. You could want to be safe, but the wicked don't care if you're safe. You could want to love each other, but the wicked don't want to love you. Now, if the world is given unto the hand of the wicked, that means you have to prepare. Whether you want to live in that reality or you don't. And it's not fair to your children if somebody breaking your home, somebody just seize your home to steal your food and your water and take what you have, and you say, I don't believe in protection. Is your belief at that moment going to help your family? Now you can say, well, the Most High will protect us. The Most High ain't never tell you not to protect yourself. Now, if you want to really go in delusional with that one, you really lost. Peter had a sword. How you think he cut the guy ear off? The Maccabees had weapons. Who would you think they were throwing rocks and bricks? When the Israelites went into Exodus and they got the survive, they took the land. Um, they took the land, the promised land. You think they went in there with nothing? They had weapons. They had swords. They had shields. So if you want to live in that fantasy world, you keep on living it, but you need to throw that Bible away because there's lots of wars in that Bible, and they didn't run in there with prayer. They ran in there with weapons and prayers. No one's saying you can't pray. Pray away. Pray for the destruction of your enemy. Pray for any harm that comes to your family. Pray, pray, pray. But have your a 40 cal behind your back, just in case that enemy step over bounds. Or M16 or AR. I don't care what you got. A knife, a shield, a sword. That's living in reality. That's the reality when Mashiach himself walked the earth. You got to live in it too. So what I'm trying to tell you is, while most of our enemies and the Gentiles are teaching their children how to fight and how to be prepared. And I'm not telling you to go out there and harm people. I'm just telling you to learn what you need to learn and have what you need to have to protect yourself. This fearful of this fear of being able to attack yourself. It's foolish to me. I have never understood why anybody's afraid of a gun. I will never understand it. A gun don't kill nobody. A human does. I believe, hell, I could kill you with a knife. Same way I can kill you with a gun. Gun just from a little distance. So are you afraid of knives? I can kill you with a pencil. Are you afraid of pencils? Doesn't make any sense. If you have protection in your house, have protection in your house, but keep it secure. Just like you secure your knives or you secure any other weapon in your house. So as as a black man telling my people, I'm talking to my people out there. You be ready. You be prepared. The Bible said always be vigilant. Always be ready. What do you think he mean by that? Always be vigilant. Always be ready. Ready for what? How you going to be ready? Figure that one out. So with that family, this is not an attack on you. I want you to understand to prepare yourself for what's going on. The only and the best way you can prepare yourself right now is to stay in prayer. And to be obedient. I'm gonna leave that one alone. That's the best way to be obedient and stay in prayer. You can take that for what it's worth. And if you're gonna stay where you at and around, surrounded by your enemy, get you some protection. Get you some dry foods. Get you some medications. And some medications, store up, lock them away. Educate yourself on the knowledge of herbs and medicines and the knowledge of wood and how to burn. Have matches and have flashlights and have batteries, have backups of everything. A backup to a backup. Have a generator. At least get yourself a generator for power and then have fuel. Things like that you should get. And that shouldn't be a debate. And if you don't have the money, you get a little bit at a time. And the last part, the privacy, you keep it to yourself. You don't tell people what you have. You don't show people your stockish. You don't show them your storage. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to tell you one thing. The Bible clearly said your family is going to be the one that's going to attack you the most. They're going to be against you the most in these end days. Not and then why? Let me explain that quickly to you. It's not that they're going to be against you. They're just going to be trying to seek survival. If a man got 4 kids in front of him, 4 kids, and they all hungry and they have nothing to eat, and his brother across town, he knows his brother got plenty food across town that he been storing away for his family or keeping for his family. What do you think he's gonna be thinking? Now he may go over and his brother may give him food and say, "Hey, here, my brother, you my brother," but he only can give him a certain amount before he takes away from his own. Is it his fault? Is it his fault that his brother didn't prepare and he knew he should? So he, at the point, he gonna say, "Man, I can't feed my family if I feed yours." And then you can say, "Well, hey, well, we're family." No, is that fair to him and his family who sacrificed and did what they needed to do to prepare, to save, to lock up, to store, while you sat and floundered your money on things that didn't matter, Xbox and games and stuff like that, whatever it is, that's not fair. So he has a right to say no. No, but that man who has to feed his family and his 4 kids, you think he's simply going to take no for an answer? No, family or not. That's just the fact. Even though it was his failure, it was his problem. Looking at his hungry kids in front of him, he ain't gonna care. And he gonna stop caring whether you his brother or not or sister. A lot of them will, because their hand is given. If they not, especially if they not in this truth, they nothing but a stone away from following Hasatan in every way. That's just the truth. And with that, I'm gonna tell you, I love you, family. Prepare. Get ready for what is to come. Is war coming? Yes. Is famine coming? Yes. Is destruction coming? Yes. Matthew tells you that. Christ himself told you that. So all you can do is prepare and pray. And prepare require action from you. With that, my brothers and sisters, I love you. Salawam. Be aware of what's going on, but do not have fear. Focus on preparing and being set apart. And the primary thing, being obedient and keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. All praises, all praises to the Most High.